In the exhibition, I'm showing two projects. The first is Prism, which I originally created in 2014. And it looks at the disclosures by Edward Snowden. And even though now it's 5 years since that occurred, I think it's quite interesting to kind of look back, because the things that Snowden talks about in terms of systems of mass surveillance have, of course, they've grown, they've multiplied, they've expanded, and now they've even been embraced by more sophisticated AI systems. So within that context, it's kind of interesting to juxtapose where we were in such a short span of time and where we are now, because it kind of highlights the issues with these kinds of systems of control, especially when they were left unregulated, uncontrolled, and just in the domains of government and corporations. The second project that I'm showing in the exhibition is called Zero Tolerance, and that's a more recent work. And this piece, it looks at the US southern border crisis with the border between the US and Mexico. And of course, even though the work is centered on a problem that is coming from the US, the issue of migration and sort of access and how we deal with and treat and the rights of migrants is a problem that is very much throughout the whole of North America, Europe, the various regions. So it's a complex issue which really is, I would say, one of the main kind of social topics of our particular time. So the installation is composed of three different parts. The first is the initial speech by the then Attorney General of the US, Jeff Sessions, where he introduces this notion of zero tolerance. It's then sort of also encompasses official US documentation of the detention centers where people and families are being kept in. And then the third component of the installation is an investigative journalist recording of the actual detention centers, and focuses on, in particular, the children and the conditions that the children are facing. And for me, like with Prism, it's not a work that is meant to portray a particular political agenda. It's not my place to tell people what to think or what to believe, but just to actually show a various situation, a set of contexts, but perhaps in a different light, that allows, through in kind of an exhibition space, a show such as this, a space for viewers to come and to have a closer reading of the issues at hand. Because there is no clear solution, there is no perfect solution, but it's through more informed dialogue and debate that we can actually find what is the right way to tackle these social issues of this particular time. So both this project and Prism really seek to do that, because I don't think that if you look at, say, an issue of surveillance, you can't separate that from an issue of protection. So you always have to have the two working in tandem. Like, again, if we talk about migration, I would say that no reasonable person would say that we should just have open borders. Yet again, no reasonable person would say that we should treat people like they're animals. So again, it's about having that kind of further discussion and sort of dialogue within wider society that we can find what is the right balance for us in this day and age. My name is Michael Takeo Magruder. I'm a visual artist and researcher based in the UK. And for this exhibition, I'm showing two large-scale installations. The first, Prism, and the second, Zero Tolerance.